In the fast-paced world of motorsports, where speed is king and adrenaline courses through the veins of every racer, there existed a young man whose name was whispered with equal parts envy and disdain: Alex Davidson. Born into a life of privilege and excess, Alex's journey through the ranks of Formula racing began not with passion and determination, but with the clinking of his father's checkbook. From a young age, Alex was captivated by the roar of engines and the thrill of speed. But unlike his peers who spent countless hours honing their skills on the karting tracks of their youth, Alex's path to motorsport fame was paved with greenbacks and privilege. With his father's considerable wealth behind him, Alex bypassed the grueling trials of the lower formulas and bought his way into the world of Formula 4 racing. As Alex's racing career began, so too did the whispers of resentment among his fellow competitors. They scoffed at his lack of experience, his reliance on his father's money to buy his place on the grid. To them, Alex was not a racer, but a pay driver, a pretender in a sport that demanded skill and talent above all else. But Alex paid little heed to the murmurs of his detractors. With the confidence that comes from wealth and privilege, he strapped himself into the cockpit of his Formula 4 car and revved the engine, eager to prove his worth on the track. Yet, as the races wore on and the seasons passed, it became painfully clear that Alex's natural talent did not match his ambition. While his competitors pushed themselves to the limit, honing their craft with each passing lap, Alex struggled to keep pace. His lap times were inconsistent, his racing lines sloppy, and his on-track maneuvers reckless and ill-advised. Despite his best efforts and the considerable resources at his disposal, Alex found himself mired in the middle of the pack. A perennial also ran in a sport that showed no mercy to those who lacked the skill to compete. But still, Alex refused to relent. With each setback, he doubled down on his efforts, pouring more and more of his father's fortune into his racing career in a desperate bid to climb the ranks and reach the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula One. And so, when the opportunity arose to move up to Formula 2, Alex seized it with both hands, convinced that this would be his chance to finally prove his worth on the international stage. But as the lights went out and the cars screamed down the straightaway, it became painfully clear that Alex was in over his head. The other drivers, hardened veterans of the sport, left him in their dust, their skill and experience evident in every precise maneuver and calculated overtake. Try as he might, Alex could not keep pace, his car sliding and skidding through the corners as he fought to maintain control. But fate, it seemed, had other plans for Alex Davidson. As the race entered its final laps, tragedy struck in a blur of screeching tires and twisted metal. In a moment of desperation, Alex pushed his car beyond its limits, attempting to make up for lost ground with sheer force of will. But it was a gamble that would cost him dearly. With a sickening crunch, Alex's car careened off the track and into the barriers, its chassis crumpling like paper as it absorbed the full force of the impact. As the smoke cleared and the dust settled, a hush fell over the paddock. The other drivers watched in stunned silence as the marshals rushed to the scene, their hearts heavy with the knowledge that one of their own had paid the ultimate price for his ambition. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the deserted track, Alex Davidson's dreams lay shattered amidst the wreckage of his car. He would never reach Formula One, never fulfill the promise of his youth. But in the end, perhaps it was a fate he had brought upon himself, a cautionary tale of the dangers of hubris and ambition in a sport where the stakes are always higher than they appear.